Herein.
For herein, for convenience, the parties will be referred to as mother and father. The stipulation between the parties is in writing, signed by each, and is made a part of this judgment as provided by ORCP 67F. The court received the stipulation, and based upon it made the following findings. Since entry of the judge herein, the following substantial changes in circumstances have occurred. A. Custody and parenting time. Mother plans to move out of the country and desires to award primary custody to father. B. Child support calculation. In light of the changes in parenting time and the fact that father will now pay for work related child care costs, child support needs to be modified. An Oregon child support guideline calculation is attached. The calculation reflects the new parenting time schedule and the fact that the father is paying daycare at the rate of $675.
Huh.
So, you guys want to say anything about that or keep going and then discuss?
Well, as far
No.
as like the child support, it was modified because she just to make sure we're on the same page. It was modified because of her health issues she was claiming, but had no
Yeah.
proof of.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not even sharing the screen. I'm sorry, you guys. So it was modified because of her health problems, which that's what this whole thing's about right now.
Okay.
All right. So, um, all right. So $675 per month. The guidelines indicate mothers should pay approximately $428 per month to father in child support. The parties have agreed that this sum is unjust and inappropriate because of the mother's health condition and the needs of the parties. This court accepts the parties' agreement that the court should find the presumption is rebutted pursuant to OAR 137-50330, blah, blah, blah. For the time being, neither party shall be required to pay child support to the other. See supplemental judgment. The parties have agreed that a supplemental judgment confirming these changes should be entered in the form appearing below. Now, therefore, based upon the foregoing, it is hereby ordered and adjudged that the judgment of dissolution of marriage previously entered herein be, and the same is hereby modified as followed. 1. Custody and parenting time. The parties shall continue to share joint legal custody with primary physical custody of Kyron R. Horman awarded to the father. Mother shall have parenting time with Kyron 1 weekend per month. Father agrees to deliver Kyron to Seattle on the weekends the parties agree to be mother's parenting time. Unless otherwise agreed, the parting time shall end at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Major holidays will be shared by parties as they agree. Childcare. Henceforth, father shall be responsible for the expense of Kyron's childcare expense. Child support commencing on the, and we blanked out that, neither party shall be required to pay child support to the other.
And
So,
that was the first day of April 2004.
okay, so you do have that date.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Um, so long as ORS 107-108 continues to be a valid law in Oregon, payments for a child shall continue beyond the period of minority if the child is a child attending school within the meaning of Oregon law. But in all events, said payment shall terminate upon the marriage, emancipation, or the 21st birthday of said child, whichever date or even first occurs. Oh, wow. So it's not 18.
Not if the child continues to college.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Number 4, remittance of support, no wage withholding. ORS 25. 6.311 requires that in most cases, support must be paid by income withholding from the payer's employer. The law allows the court to grant an exception in certain circumstances. In this case, the parties have agreed that in lieu of wage withholding, child support shall be payable by deposit into a bank account to be designated by the support recipient. The court accepts this alternate payment method based upon the fact that it has been represented to this court that there is no support arranged in this case. The payer has not previously been granted an exemption from wage withholding, and the parties have agreed in writing to this alternative agreement. 5. Dependency exemption. Henceforth, respondents shall have the right to claim the dependency exception per Chiron. Number 6, medical life insurance. The provisions contained in the stipulated judgment of dissolution of marriage relating to health and life insurance are hereby ratified and approved and incorporated by reference as it fully set forth herein. Attorney fees. Each party shall pay his or her own legal fees and costs incurred herein. 8. Ratification of prior judgment, except as modified herein. The prior judgment of this court is hereby ratified and affirmed. Number 9. Statutory notices. Oregon law requires that you receive the following notices. A. Change of residence pursuant to ORS 107-159. Neither parent shall move to a residence more than 60 miles further distance from the other parent without giving the other parent reasonable notice of this change of residence and providing a copy of such notice to the court. B. Notice regarding child support and visitation. ORS 107-106 requires that you receive the following notice. The terms of child support and parenting time visitation are designed for the child's benefit and not the parent's benefit. You must pay support even if you are not receiving visitation. You must comply with visitation orders even if you are not receiving child support. Violation of child support orders and visitation orders is punishable by fine, imprisonment, or other penalties. You want to?
Publicly funded help is available to establish, enforce, and modify child support orders. Paternity establishment services are also available. Contact your local district attorney, domestic relations clerk, court clerk, or Department of Human Services. It goes, let's go to C, notice of potential income withholding. The support order is enforceable by income withholding under ORS 25311 to 25318, 25351 to 25367, and 25722. Support payments for 1 month whenever withholding shall occur immediately whenever there are ranges, and that really doesn't matter because they're not paying child support. I'm just sort of scanning through because a lot of this is just legal.
Yeah.
Notice of periodic review, communication, changes in information. This is stuff that is just standard in every child support case.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything that's going to change. So when we go down to the next page, it's talks about their attorneys, and then just what it says. There's no child support amount. There's one child, and it's due to start on April 1st of 2004.
Okay.
So then we just have the signatures. where they both signed. And that this was done on the 16th of March
And
of
you guys,
2004.
this is important because this is what we were speaking about, like, in the book.
Well, let's figure out how old Kyron was, because Kyron was born September 2nd of
September.
2000,
Oh,
or
I thought it was
September
September
9th.
9th. Yeah.
It is
Mhm.
September 9th of 2002, correct?
Um.
That's the date I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. 26. Yeah.
All right.
2002.
And this is happening March 16th of 2004.
Yeah, because
So
they don't even
Kyron,
have Kyron's name in the divorce documents because they couldn't even figure out his name yet. That's
Right.
how
right,
soon it. Yeah.
Didn't you say something, Norman, about like trying to get child support and he wasn't born, or what was?
Well, the thing is usually before they were married, so I think this is an exception to the rules when you're married. But
Mhm.
usually, when this situation happens, before a baby is even breathing air, there has to be a DNA test before anything could be established. But if they're circumventing that because Cain is convinced that Chiron is his no matter what, then
right.
they can go ahead and circumvent that. But I would have went and got a DNA test, especially if she's got STDs and all this shit, before the divorce.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because from what I know, there is no DNA test done.
No, no, Cain took responsibility for him blindly. So, you know, that means that Chiron was less than 2.
So he was less
Right.
than 2 years old.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have turned 2 until September of 2004. And we're in March. So, he's like, what, 15,
Well,
16 months old?
yeah, I'm not good with numbers, but yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it's because 2004 March, right?
Yep.
Two
Yep.
April,
hours
May,
later.
June. Yeah, because he would have been 2 that next
September.
September. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
So,
he was just a little spud. And, um, you know, Cain already had visitations, so they were already spending their weekends with Chiron, because I don't remember, and it's in there. Do you remember what Cain's agreement was? How much visitation time he would get?
I well,
I'm gonna look.
I
You
mean,
you
I
go
just
ahead and talk about what you're talking about. I just want to find out now.
okay, because I just know that I just remember the Desiree thing we were just talking about. But
Right.
all right, so you guys, this is what we wanted to bring these documents up. People were asking, how is this? Why is this relevant? Where is the proof? Where is the receipts? So DY stepmom, I mean biomom, gave Kane primary custody, not sole, in March of 2004. The book claims she visited Canada in August of 2004, and it implies that she moved there shortly after. She also claims that the agreement would revert back to her having primary custody of Chiron when she returned to Oregon, and that Kane didn't honor their agreement. The agreement never said that. She also claims in the book that Kane was still paying child support to her even after giving up primary custody, but that's not what the divorce documents actually say. She also claims to have fought for custody when she returned, but there was nothing ever filed. These are the only documents there are. Um, and let's go back to she also claimed the reason she went to see a divorce attorney was because she caught Kane having an affair. And that's not what the divorce papers say. Also, she claims she went into premature labor due to KH giving her an STD, which is also not mentioned in the divorce documents. You guys, is that something that was be mentioned?
Well, I would think that if that's the reason, I mean, usually you're pretty bitter
Uh-huh.
and you sort of want to call them out. And, if she could have proven that Kane was having an affair,
Oh, yeah.
that would have given her rights to spousal support, I would have thought. Maybe Norman could help me out there.
Yeah, Norm.
Say that last part again.
If
If
go ahead.
if Kane was cheating on Desiree and she
Mhm.
filed divorce for that fact, wouldn't that usually result in her being allowed to get spousal support?
Correct. That would constitute for alimony if she could prove it. But remember, she couldn't prove it because it was when they did the background check. From what I understand, they didn't. Terry and Kane didn't start their relationship until after the divorce.
Right. But in the book, she states that Kane was having an affair, and that's why she filed for divorce.
And
Yeah, I that's what she said. But that again, that wasn't. That's what she told the author of that book.
Right. But the
Yeah, and
court documents, I mean, she would have been bitter and
yeah.
and she would have wanted that alimony. I feel that in my heart.
Oh yeah, you know that girl. That woman, the whole reason she filed for divorce was to set herself up financially. That whole divorce decree is giving her a safety net. It has
yeah,
nothing to do with Kyron. That is her safety net because she's basically pulling a legalized Karen move and saying, look, I can't take care of my kid, but I deserve to be the mother of my child. And this is what's going to happen. So these are the rules of engagement. He's going to drop the kids off to me in Seattle. I'm going to see him every other weekend and be the weekend warrior, but I'm still going to be in control of everything. And that's
yeah.
not how the system, that's not how raising a child works. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a free agent and to decide on the weekend that you're full-time mom and nobody else can go against your judgment.
Bam. You got that right.
But
Hold on.
I hope I answer your question. To me, it
You
sounds like
did. You
she
did.
did not. This divorce was not for Kyron's best interest. It was for her best interest.
Yep.
Right. And knowing some of the backstory with that, the fact that she's so bitter now, she would have been just as bitter in the divorce. And if she could have gotten Kane for cheating on her, she would have at that point.
Yeah, I agree. But there was no alimony to be taken because he wasn't cheating at that point, or he
Right.
wasn't cheating. Period. They had divorced amicably because of irreconcilable differences.
Yeah.
Right. That's the point I was making. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. So the next, you guys, she also, the whole STD, it's not mentioned in the divorce documents. The expected due date for Kyron was September 15th, 2002. Kyron was born, just a few days before the original due date. Desiree also claims that she and Kyron moved out in December of 2002. However, she acquired a new home and claims in the divorce documents. Oh wait, sorry.
Didn't she say something about how she gave birth early in the book because she was stressed or some shit?
Because
The
because Kane
STD.
gave her, yep.
Well, she didn't mention the STD or she mentioned it in the book, but in the divorce decree though, she didn't
There's
mention
no
the
mention of
STD.
that.
Okay.
And it shows that she didn't deliver him. I mean, when you're pregnant, 40 weeks is an estimation.
I was gonna say
And
the same thing. They don't know the exact day and time a baby is gonna be born.
he was due on the 14th. He came on the 9th.
He was due on the 15th and he was born on the 9th.
So 4 days.
That's not uncommon. Now, if he
Not at
was 2
all.
months early, that would
Yeah.
be something to say, okay, you were stressed, your body needed, you know what I mean? But yeah, 4 days, get the fuck out of here.
And so
Right?
it also, I'm just going to read this so then we could discuss it so I can get this over. So Biomom also claims that she and Kyron moved out December 2002. However, she acquired a new home and claims in the divorce documents that her and Kyron had been living there since his birth. And then did I already read that part? She gave Kane primary custody, not sole, in March of 2004. The book claims she visited Canada in August of 2004, and it implies she moved there shortly after. She also claims that the agreement, oh, I did read that, but would revert back to her having primary custody of Kyron when she returned to Oregon, and that Kane didn't honor their agreement. The agreement never said that. She also claims in the book that Kane was still paying child support to her even after giving up primary custody, and that's not what these divorce documents shows. She also claims in the book to have fought for custody when she returned, but she never filed anything after giving Kane primary custody. She always had visitation. She was planning on moving to Canada prior to March 2004. The original custody and divorce agreement was set in place in February 2003.
The
Desiree's
original custody and
Sorry,
huh?
go ahead.
Oh,
My bad. I'm watching us live at the same
I was
time.
like,
but-
what? Who is
My
that?
bad.
The original custody and divorce agreement was set in place in February 2003. Desiree's attorney withdrew her representation once the original custody matter and divorce settled. Also, where Biomom claims that Kane didn't follow through on the agreement, Biomom stated under oath that she read the agreement in full and understood what it said. It was even notarized. So this person that this is where it all started from somebody else. So this person said, I truly believed the Biomom in the beginning. I read the book. I highlighted a lot in the book. I referenced the book a lot. I felt bad for her, still do. But now I learned that the ugly custody battle she entails upon the public wasn't true at all. She willingly gave up primary custody of Kyron well before her visitation to Canada in August of 2004. She had plans to move to Canada prior to March of 2004, literally a year after she was granted primary custody of Kyron. She lied about Kane not paying child support. That ceased when she gave up custody per the supplemental agreement. She lied about Kane not following through with the agreement. She read the agreement and signed an affidavit under oath in front of a notary public. If she filed for divorce because Kane was having an affair, then why not file on the grounds of adultery? It's a much better outcome for her that way. She filed due to
And yeah,
irreconcilable differences. Why lie about premature labor? And that's when we get into he was supposed to be due the 15th. So this person said she wasn't bedridden or sick. Her credibility is gone.
and I think that's what this all boils down to. When we discussed with James the book, James said, look, this isn't true. But we're talking to a person that trust me, I believe everything James says. But that doesn't mean that he has to be telling me the truth and that I wouldn't know the difference. But when you have a court paper that says this is the way it was versus the way she says it was, that makes James's claims that I never did any of that way heavier than what it did 10 minutes before we read that. Because we know she made up and twisted things to look differently.
We've even seen sorry.
I want to go back, if we can, not to interrupt you guys' flow, but I really want to go back to this whole STD thing and the reason why, and I would love the documents to prove or to prove otherwise why Kyron's eyesight was so bad. Now, I pulled up gonorrhea and chlamydia according to Google, and it says gonorrhea and chlamydia are bacteria that can be passed from an infant pregnant woman to their baby during birth. Both gonorrhea and chlamydia can cause eye infections in newborns. Newborn eye infections caused by gonorrhea can lead to permanent eye damage or blindness.
Oh my goodness. And now we do know that Kyron's eyesight, and I could actually find out exactly what that was because
The condition.
Terry said the condition in our group. And I wonder
So-
if that condition is coincides with this.
As far as credibility is concerned, when you look at all three parents, bio moms, Terry and Kane, while she has that baby in her stomach, that is her responsibility for prenatal care. And I don't care if you're rich, poor, or whatever, you can go to the state and get screened for, matter of fact, they give you an STD test when upon knowing that you're pregnant.
Absolutely.